athlete is at a huge risk of further problems down the road, including anything with their school or memory or continuous headaches.
For concussion treatment, get started at ElevatePerformanceSD.com.
Sometimes it's just a whoops, sometimes it's a oh no, and sometimes it's an all-out Whatever it is, J&J Truck and Auto Body can take care of it with traditional methods or paintless dent repair because they are a PPG certified and ICAR Gold class shop with ASE certified technicians. Plus, they work with your insurance company, saving you time. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
J&J Truck and Auto Body, 100% guaranteed.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Before, just two players received the franchise tag in the National Football League. Chiefs guard Trey Smith and Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins, as the Vikings did not use the franchise tag on quarterback Sam Darnold. The Eagles and running back Saquon Barkley have agreed to terms on a 2-year extension worth $41.2 million, making Barkley the highest paid running back in NFL history and the first to make more than $20 million annually. The New York Jets released veteran wide receiver Devontae Adams. Cowboys restructured the contract of wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. Cowboys also signed defensive lineman Osa Odigizua to a 4-year, $80 million extension. They re-signed corner C.J. Goodwin. Rams traded lineman Jonah Jackson to the Bears in exchange for a 6th-round pick. University of North Carolina will not be appearing in an off-season version of HBO's Hard Knocks. Mavericks guard Kyrie Irving done with the year with a torn ACL in his left knee. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. We're back on a Tuesday. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Welcome, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live. Also on Twitter right now, stream us at Nate Brown Show. Easy to find us, so follow us on X, Twitter, whatever you call it, we're there. Stream us and follow the show at Nate Brown Show. So you got us on your phone. Wherever you're listening tonight, we appreciate it. Thanks for making this show possible. And remember, it's always a great day in South Dakota, even with a little wind, a little snow is back. Yeah, we'll be okay. We're into March. We know this stuff's going to happen for a little while longer. We got to stay with it. Stay tough. We'll get some nice weather like we had. I believe that. Let's get going tonight on the Nate Brown Show. Remember, you can follow us on YouTube as well, The Nate Brown Show, and watch us live. Our YouTube channel is up and running. A lot to cover tonight. Local, regional, national sports on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Questions of the day. Let's get after it. Let's look at the guest lineup. It's brought to you by Forever Lawn of South Dakota. I've been telling you about this great company in South Dakota serving both sides of the state. If you haven't given them a shot, just Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. If you're like me, I've had dogs. I've had muddy paws coming through the house. They've got canine grass, the artificial grass. They've got landscape grass, so it looks unbelievable. You don't have to touch it. You can actually go on trips. You don't have to worry about watering it, maintenance-free. So check it out for yourself. Sports grass to landscape grass to canine grass and golf greens for chipping and putting. Go to Forever Lawn in South Dakota. Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. The Forever Lawn guest lineup on the Nate Brown Show tonight includes Matthew Collar from Minneapolis, Vikings insider, PurpleInsider.com's Matthew Coller on tonight, and you know what we're going to discuss. By the way, we'll get after this thing on the Vikings side. I am perplexed. I'm perplexed. How about that? And the Vikings situation today. So maybe perplexed with the Vikings fans. I want to talk to you fans tonight. So Matthew Coller's coming up. Aaron Johnston's on tonight's Summit League tournament gets going. We got SDSU women, the number 1 seed, no doubt, and they're awaiting that first game. So starts up tomorrow at the Denny, and SDSU women, the number 1 seed, will play the winner. Denver and Omaha, we'll see where the Jacks women go. They should win this thing, should win it. They've been above everybody, 63 straight wins in the Summit League. Can you believe that? Coach AJ is on tonight talking about his program and trying to make the NCAA National Tournament. Again, Aaron Johnston on live from Brookings. Craig Maddox going to stop by tonight. East River meets West River every week on the Nate Brown Show. Craig Maddox, SDPB Sports. And South Dakota Mines Athletic Director out of Rapid City, David Crum. He's the new AD for the Hard Rockers, and a press release went out last night. They are going to make a change in women's basketball and men's basketball. So they'll be looking for 2 new head coaches at the same time on the women's side and the men's side. Talk about the future of SD Mines D2 RMAC basketball with David Crum and the decision process there at SD Mines. So we're packed on a Tuesday. Let's get going. 605-720-1067. Let's have some fun over the next 2 hours. Why do we do this? Having a little fun. Thought-provoking sports talk for you. 605-720-1067. That's your Pizza Ranch studio hotline. And the Barron's Wilson text line open and ready. 605-720-1067. If you want to text the show, you can do that. The Barron's Wilson text line. Your comments there. Join the conversation at 605-720-1067. We appreciate it. All right. I want to go. I got to go with the Vikings deal. It's the biggest news, no doubt. It's been a national headline all day. And, of course, with all Vikings fans across South Dakota, here's what I've discovered. Vikings fans, I wanted to test this again today. Vikings fans feel like most of them are happy if the Vikings let Sam Darnold go. That's what I felt. I've talked about this Sam Darnold situation over the past few months, ever since the season ended. And it feels like the Vikings thought, well, he did fine. 14 wins. He did fine. But he didn't do good in the last 2 games. He did not do good in the last 2 games. So we're going to bag it with Sam Darnold and take the risk of a rookie quarterback. So my brother is a Vikings lifer. So I know the Vikings' plight. I know where you're at. You're just trying to get over the top. You're trying to get this thing done. You thought Sam Darnold was just fool's gold. It was a lucky year, right? Kevin O'Connell makes anybody look good, and I think that's what you guys are telling me about Sam Darnold. But I'm going to give you a little perspective, a little different perspective from me as a Broncos fan. Here's how this would go. If the Broncos had a veteran, kind of a veteran who just had a great season, 14 wins, and yes, we drafted Bo Nix, but I don't know about Bo Nix. Let's just say I wasn't quite sure on Bo Nix. This would be like the Broncos getting rid of that quarterback and just rolling it out there with Bo Nix. You could bring that quarterback back, but you just roll it out there with Bo Nix. It turned out fine for the Broncos. Everybody's telling me Bo Nix is a great player. I think he's good. I don't know if he's great yet. That's my Broncos perspective. But why am I bringing this up? Everybody thinks that J.J. McCarthy is going to be the guy because we've seen these rookie quarterbacks, especially just this last year. Well, these guys are players. Hey, if Bo Nix can be a player for the Broncos, J.J. McCarthy can be the man for the Vikings. That's not how this works. We know that's not the scenario. We're just hoping that this is the scenario with J.J. McCarthy. None of you guys know it. I don't know it. You don't know it. I didn't know if Bo Nix was going to work out. It's an unbelievable risk in the NFL anytime you're thinking this quarterback's going to be the man. You have to draft them. You have to take them. They did. Vikings get J.J. McCarthy. Broncos get Bo Nix. Broncos roll it out with Bo Nix. It works out. And I think it gives fan bases the look that, well, look at what the Broncos did. I mean, if Bo Nix can play like that, look at what J.J. McCarthy could do with all these weapons and Kevin O'Connell. This is going to be the scenario. But you have to understand, the Vikings were on the cusp of the number 1 seed in the NFC. This just wasn't barely making the playoffs and kind of getting through it. They were on a roll. This is one of those seasons that the Vikings had the most explosive pass plays down the field in the NFL. Sam Darnold was the guy who did that. So today, everybody's talking, the Vikings aren't going to franchise tag Sam Darnold. So what does this really mean? Nobody quite knows. There's all these guys that think they think they know. The experts are saying today, well, this means the Vikings are going to work on a deal. They're going to work on a deal for Sam. Well, no, this means the Vikings are going to let him walk. And I'm asking you, the Vikings fans across South Dakota tonight, what do you want to do with Sam Darnold? You're not going to franchise tag him. So what would you do? Do you want to try and cut a deal? Meaning not $41 million a year, but like $25 to $30 million a year. Would you guys stomach that? Would you take that? Or are you just going to let him walk out the door? And I'm telling you, the last couple of months on this program, I believe it's like 90% of the Vikings fans would let him walk out the door. Maybe I'm off on that, but let me throw this out there to you. If the Vikings, if they're going to bring back Sam, I don't know if they are. They're not going to franchise tag him today, so they missed that window. So if they're actually going to bring him back, like Adam Schefter, some of these guys are reporting, they're trying to work on a deal that benefits both sides. Well, to me, that sounds like, hey, we can't go deep on this, Sam. We can't go over our skis on this, but we can go like $30 million a year. Does that work? Are you guys okay with that if you get Sam Darnold $30 million a year for 3 years? $90 million? Are you? I have a feeling you're not okay with that. You tell me on the Barron's Wilson text line, if you could, Vikings fans. I want you to get in on this. 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line. If the Vikings do bring back Sam Darnold with a new contract, what type of money are you comfortable giving him? I contend Vikings fans, they fell out of favor with Sam Darnold, yet when you look at some of the numbers here, Matthew Coller's coming up on this show, Vikings Insider, and he broke some things down here. Sam Darnold, since 2022, this is when he was bad before with the Jets and Panthers, okay? Jets and Panthers, that was a different Sam Darnold. But since 2022, Sam Darnold is 18-6 with 44 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. So that's the last couple of years' body of work. And the big one was with the Vikings this past year, as we all know. So how about those numbers? 18-6, 44 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 99.5 QB rating. Isn't that good enough? Because we think we're just fooled by these rookie QBs that turn out pretty good. They think J.J. McCarthy just step right in and you guys are going to hit that 14-win mark and all the Vikings fans are going to be happy. Thank God we didn't bring back Sam Darnold. My deal is this. I'm going to give you my real deal tonight as a not overly emotional invested party here. I'm not overly emotional invested party. I looked at the body of work, what he did throughout the whole season, not just the last couple of games where everybody got upset, where he got blasted by the Rams and the Lions. I'm not going to just take those two games because guess what? There's a lot of QBs that have some bad games, a lot of QBs. And people, Sam Darnold doesn't get a fair rap because of his career, how it started. So they think, well, he was bad with the Jets. He was bad with the Panthers. That's what we saw with the Vikings the last two games. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think we just pigeonhole it because we think that's Sam Darnold because we saw him before. It's human nature. We're recency bias, and we say, well, he's back to the old Sam. Let's get rid of him. Would you let him walk out the door? I would not. I would not let him walk out the door. He's maybe going to test these waters. What are the waters for Sam Darnold? And I do say, cut a deal. If I'm the Vikings, I got to try and cut a deal. I would take Sam Darnold, I think, for $25 to $30 million a year. I think. Easy for me to say, not my money, but when it comes to the cap space, can the Vikings afford that situation? 25 to 30? You would hope so. You would think so. I'm going to try and cut a deal because I still think it's too risky to have the window that you have with Justin Jefferson and these guys to say, we'll throw J.J. McCarthy in, and he's going to be the guy for sure. I think it's risky. What would you say? What would you do? You just have to pay him pretty big money, $40 million a year. Cut a deal, $25 to $30 million a year. Would you do that? That's where I'm at. I understand you don't want to go $40 million a year, but you got to understand that's the quarterback market. Is the market that good for Sam Darnold out there? I think it's okay. The Vikings, if they let him test that deal, I think that's okay. Let him test the deal. What would the Raiders do for Sam Darnold? They were ready to do a lot for Matthew Stafford. So what would the Raiders do for Sam Darnold? Giants, what would they do for Sam Darnold? Let's let him test it because then you're the Vikings down. You can sit back and say, what was it like out there? Maybe we'll just give you 25, 30, and we'll call it good. Would you be happy with that? My contention is a lot of Vikings fans would not. So you tell me, you just want to let him walk, McCarthy's up, or you cut a deal, $25 million, or you have to pay him. That's the quarterback market, $40 million a year plus. What's your vote? 605-720-1067. What type of contract would you give him if the Vikings do bring him back? 64%. That said 90% of you would be okay. 64%. That's still a big number. Let him walk. It's J.J. McCarthy's turn. Well, what did Sam do to you guys? What did Sam Darnold do to the Viking fan base? You guys forgot about the other 14 games. And we talk about the few that he looked bad. Maybe even the last two. It was just the last two, and that's it. That's it. He can't play. I can't have it. It's so easy to think a rookie's going to be the story. And if they do this, if you let Sam Darnold walk, and J.J. McCarthy turns out not so good, we got to remember what Vikings fans wanted. Because believe me, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah's up there going, how do we play this out? I think how you do it. I'm not a pro GM. You got to try and get a deal. Let's see what he gets out there. What are the waters for Sam Darnold? I don't think they're like really rich. It's complicated when teams are trying to look for a QB. The Raiders going to go deep for Sam Darnold? Maybe not. Did all the other teams get spooked by the last two games like you Vikings fans? Are they as scared of Sam Darnold regression as much as you Vikings fans are? I would have taken the 14 wins and enjoyed the season and then tried it again and see if it doesn't work out. You got him on a pretty good deal. Let's do a 2-year deal. Will he do that? I don't know if that's realistic. 2-year deal. Can we do that? But 64% of you say let him walk. I can't believe it. I mean, I've never seen a QB get this many wins, this many yards, and get killed by Minnesota. Nice. You guys are nice. But I think the Sam Darnold thing, it just fits your narrative. Here's a guy that we tried. He gave us false hope, like the Vikings fans live in their life. We got it. We're going to go. And we just fall flat, and you guys predicted it from the start. Everybody that called this show during the season, I was excited. Look at this. This is the real deal. He's got it going. He's athletic. He's got a great arm. He's playing well. And every Vikings fan called in and said, it's coming. The downturn is coming. And it did, and you'll never get out of it. We're trying to get out of this long, dark winter. You got to cut a deal. You have to cut a deal with Sam. You can't let him walk. But that's what you guys are voting. Let's get to some of the texts coming in. Lister text, Darnold broke our hearts. Vikings should break it off. Let's see. Lister text, you should try to get Darnold $30 million a year, 3-year contract. $30 million a year, 3-year contract. So that's kind of where I was at. 25 to 30, 3-year contract, I think, is what he's going to have to get. You're in at about $90 million. Are you okay with that? You guys cried about it with Kirk Cousins, and we know how that turned out. Lister text, Vikings are crazy. They should keep Sam. Maybe my Chiefs will trade Kelsey for draft picks. Listener text, Darnold looked good on a $10 million contract. Won't have the same talent around him if franchise tagged or a deal for $30 million plus. So less talent means worse Darnold. He can't win big games. He can't win big games. So you just don't want him. He didn't just look good on a $10 million deal. He won 14 games. So that was more than looking good on a $10 million deal. That was almost the number 1 seed in a NFC race with the Lions. So that wasn't just lucky right there. Let's see. Lister text, $30 million a year times 3. Ha ha. You're not going to get him for much less, I don't think, unless I'm way off. I'm going to talk to Matthew Collar about this. What does he think? He's covered the Vikings through the Kirk Cousins days and now the Sam Darnold situation. No franchise tag today. Today was the day. No franchise tag, so you could have went 1 year, $41 million. Vikings didn't do it. They're trying to get a better deal, it sounds like. And Vikings fans on this show, 64% vote let him walk. 30% say cut a deal with him, 25 to 30 million. 6% would have paid him the 40 million. Okay, let's say what Matthew Collar says from the Twin Cities. Vikings writer Purple Insider on the way.
This is South Dakota's sports talk show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely, and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger? Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner. And I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs. And Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for snow showers tonight, otherwise mainly clear. Lows dip down to about 16, winds out of the north 10 to 15 miles per hour. Daytime highs approaching 46, tomorrow mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow night, lows around 26. 1 to 3 inches of snow Thursday through Thursday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 29.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. Just getting started on a Tuesday afternoon drive. Thanks for being here. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live. The Nate Brown Show is on Twitter right now. You can stream us. Welcome in at Nate Brown Show. Find the show and watch us live at Nate Brown Show on Twitter every afternoon drive. Aaron Johnston's coming up. South Dakota State head women's basketball coach. They've won 63 straight Summit League regular season. Number one seed for the Summit League women's tournament gets going. Jackrabbit women awaiting the winner of Omaha and Denver tomorrow. Jacks get going on Thursday. AJ's coming up from Brookings. Matthew Collar's on tonight. Vikings in the news. They do not franchise tag Sam Darnold. So what are they going to do? Purple Insider. Get the newsletter. Hit the site. Purple Insider. That's Matthew Collar, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show. Matthew, how are you?
I'm doing good. I guess I'm in a state of being unsure about where this whole thing goes. I felt like we kind of had it figured out, and now it feels like we don't.
Okay, so if you thought you had it figured out, what did you have figured out?
Well, coming out of the Combine and listening to Kevin O'Connell talk about the quarterback situation, it really felt like he was trying to give us a lot of information about how healthy J.J. McCarthy is coming back in his rehab, and he talked in depth about all the things they did to prepare J.J. McCarthy to be QB1 last year, where he was going through, like he was going to start the game, and they were having sit-downs and all this stuff, watching film together every week, and all these things that he talked about, and it just felt like, okay, well, they're kind of discussing Sam Darnold as part of the past, saying things like, hey, he's earned the right to hit free agency, and saying, oh, we love what Sam did for us. There was no implication that, oh, yeah, we definitely want him back. And then, we get to the point where they don't franchise tag him. My guess is that they did that because they didn't have other teams that were willing to give up significant draft capital to bring in somebody that was going to carry a $41 million cap hit. Okay, all that's fine. But then at least 3 NFL insiders that, it's hard to say if they're getting the information from the Vikings side or Sam Darnold's agent side, but they're all saying the same thing, that the two sides are interested in a reunion and are working through that right now over the next coming days before the legal tampering period begins. And that was something that I didn't necessarily expect. I mean, I always left the door open for it, that they could potentially want J.J. McCarthy to develop for another year, but now it's in practice, how does that work out? And why would Sam Darnold come back when he might have opportunities to be the guy for another team rather than having somebody breathing down his neck who was drafted 10th overall? So there are still complications here. I don't know if it's actually realistic or this is something being put out there to maybe pump up Sam Darnold's price. It's kind of hard to figure out with all the moving parts right now.
See, that's what I'm wondering, Matthew. What do you think the market is like out there? Do the Raiders really want him? Do the Giants really want him? I mean, there's teams there. I don't know what's the market like? That's what we're wondering for Sam Darnold.
Well, I think you saw this play out last year a little bit with Baker Mayfield, where he went out to the market and there wasn't a ton of interest in making him people's franchise quarterback, and then he ends up going back to Tampa Bay. Of course, that turned out pretty well for Baker Mayfield. He's a proper handoff away from beating Washington and winning in the playoffs and having a chance to go forward from there. And he's already got a playoff win the year before there, but I don't think there were a ton of teams that were saying, okay, we're going to back up the Brinks truck for a guy who had one good year. And the same thing probably goes for Sam Darnold, where I think teams would value their flexibility rather than looking at a multi-year contract for someone like that looking down the road to the next year and maybe drafting a quarterback or, kind of having somebody who's a bridge rather than fully investing. Like, that's the hard part about the quarterback market, is that it feels like you either have to go all in or nothing at all on quarterbacks, and as desperate as some teams might be, going all in might not be favorable for them. That doesn't mean there won't be offers. It just means I wonder if that price isn't quite as high as we maybe would have thought it's going to be, and then there could be a spot where the Vikings say, well, hey, if the Titans or the Raiders are only offering you X, why not take Y from us? Yeah, it's less, but look what we did for you. Look at your situation. Look, you got Justin Jefferson, Kevin O'Connell. Play for us for one more year, and then we'll see what happens, right? Like, if he played for another year and goes to the Super Bowl, then he's their guy for the future. And if he plays for one more year and they win 8 games, then it's on to J.J. McCarthy. And I think if you're the Vikings, there is some value in, instead of putting your eggs in one basket, having multiple good players at that position when there's, 30% of the league has no players at that position.
Matthew Coller on tonight. Get his work at purpleinsider.com. Covers the Vikings. He's here on the Nate Brown Show talking Sam Darnold. So what type of contract would that have to be, though? Baker Mayfield did a 3-year, $100 million deal. It wasn't all guaranteed, but, that's over $30 million a year. So you're looking at it. Can the Vikings do a deal? Would Vikings fans take Sam Darnold on a 3-year, $30 million a year?
Well, I think Vikings fans would rather Sam Darnold play anywhere but here, to tell you the truth, after the way the season ended. That's not reflective of my feelings about Sam Darnold, but just my temperature of the fan base is they want J.J. McCarthy and J.J. McCarthy only. But as far as the team, the thing about a $30 million contract per year for Baker Mayfield, and the same thing went for Geno Smith after he had his resurgent year, is that it's not really that on the salary cap. So the cap hit for Baker Mayfield last year was $6.9 million or $7.9 million or something like that. And I think what the Vikings would be looking to do is set it up so they could still have a huge offseason of spending in free agency this year, bring back some of their key guys, and then go out and make additions to their team, and then have a tradable opportunity at the end of the year if that's what they want to do, or if Sam Darnold is unbelievable, have the option to keep him and still have a decent salary cap hit. It's really interesting how teams can schedule these out with the bonus money and then different things like that, escalators to have a certain number that looks great for an agent but isn't actually that number on the salary cap. So the Vikings could do something like that. I just wonder from Darnold's perspective, is he okay with playing this kind of year to year with them? Saying like, all right, well, I'm going to go out and win 14 again, and then you guys are going to make me your franchise quarterback. But I almost feel like if I was him, why would I have to prove it twice if someone else was willing to buy in? But it really depends on whether someone else is willing to buy in, because there was a tweet from Daniel Jeremiah that suggested that nobody in the league wants to give Sam Darnold $40 million a year. So if that's the case, he might as well play it from year to year with the Vikings, try to get a lot of cash up front and see where it goes from there.
So 64% of my audience on Twitter, it's just a Twitter poll, but 64% say, let Sam Darnold walk. It's Jay McCarthy's turn. So that's a pretty big number. You posted a tweet. I thought it was interesting. You said, hey, look at Sam Darnold since his time at the Jets and Panthers. 44 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 99.5 quarterback rating. He wins games. You posted that because what do you think of his overall body of work?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the narrative coming out of the playoff game was just way too harsh about, like, oh, he's the old Sam Darnold and stuff. I really think we saw progress from him going all the way back to 2022 after Matt Rule was fired, and they had at least some competent play calling and players around him. He had DJ Moore when he started his final 6 games and went 4-2 for Carolina, and then when he did get in games for San Francisco, he played very well for the 49ers, which is why the Vikings were interested in him. And then, of course, all of last year. So it's a growing sample size. It's since 2021. Where were you in 2021? Like, it's been a while since Sam Darnold has been a bad quarterback. And in the playoffs, there are so many examples of great quarterbacks. I included Eli Manning, the most clutch quarterback, right? We all think of him that way. His first playoff game, he lost 23-0 and threw 3 interceptions. I mean, we do this all the time with quarterbacks where if they have a bad game in the playoffs, everybody's watching it, it's the most intense atmosphere, and then we judge that quarterback off that. But if you're doing it that way for this year, then you have to think Mahomes isn't that great, Herbert's not that great, C.J. Stroud's not that great. If Sam Darnold 5 years ago hadn't been bad and instead had a different reputation based on his early career, then I think we would have looked at that playoff game and said, well, it happened to a lot of quarterbacks, including the greatest quarterback in the Super Bowl, so they have to block better next year when Sam comes back. I really think that people can't let go their first impressions, no matter how far we are separated. But if we did it that way, Rich Gannon would never have won an MVP. Steve Young would have never been a quarterback in the NFL. A lot of quarterbacks have struggled early and turned out good. That doesn't mean I think he's Steve Young. It just means that I think that he's established himself as a quarterback you can definitely win with. Can you win the Super Bowl? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure, thought that Jalen Hurts couldn't win the Super Bowl either. So a lot of times that depends on luck, depends on what's around you, how healthy you stay, how good your coaching is, all those things. But I think it's just unfair to Sam Darnold to treat him like he's some sort of bum because of what happened in the playoffs.
Matthew Coller on tonight. Last one I'll let you run. He's with PurpleInsider.com, Vikings Insider. So here's the scenario. If the Vikings bring him back, you talked about the fans, I've talked about the fans. There is a real scenario that as soon as he messes up a one game, it's going to be one of those messes for Kevin O'Connell answering questions, J.J. McCarthy. How does that play? That doesn't seem like a good deal for anybody.
Yeah, and I do think that there's this type of team with their leadership is in the best position to handle something like that, as opposed to some teams that are just wrought with drama all the time. But I do agree that, I'm just imagining if the Vikings lose their first game and they go 3-0 in their second game at US Bank Stadium and Sam Darnold's getting booed off the field and the fans are cheering JJ, JJ. This really is, I'm surprised it's only 64%. I would have expected 94%, which I think is probably what my audience is. There's just not any appetite to bring Sam Darnold back from the fans, and I think that they are going to be ruthless and harsh. I think that last year I thought the fans were kind of absurd about the team because they were always waiting for the other shoe to drop. There's been a lot of frustration that has been built up over years and years of having middling teams that can't get over the top, quarterbacks that get paid a lot but aren't good enough to win in the playoffs. This fan base has gotten really exhausted of that, and the light at the end of the tunnel has been the rookie quarterback contract where you could stack up the team and spend the money around the guy and all that. And J.J. McCarthy is that beacon that they've been hoping for many years while they went through Kirk Cousins and his huge contracts and one playoff win and all that. So I think it's not so much about Sam himself as it is about this was the promise of J.J. McCarthy and the spending in free agency and all that. And also in fans' case, the most popular guy is always the other quarterback who's not playing, right? That's an old saying, but you can guarantee that if you polled fans, 90% would think J.J. McCarthy's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold, despite Darnold just having a top 10 NFL season. So I do think that it has the potential to get ugly if they don't match what they did last year, which is a very, very high bar.
Yeah, I think that's right. Good coverage on this. PurpleInsider.com's Matthew Coller from the Twin Cities tonight. Matthew, always great. Thanks a lot.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Matthew Coller on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Hit his site, PurpleInsider.com. Vikings writer for a long time covering the Vikes out of the Twin Cities. Matthew Coller at Purple Insider. What would you do with Sam Darnold if the Vikings decided to bring him back? Now, I've prefaced that with that question. If they decided to bring him back, what type of money would you be comfortable with? And still 64% just say, let him walk. So I was trying to frame the question. If you brought him back, what would you pay him? And 64% of my audience still says, let him walk. We're not going to bring him back. 14 wins. My goodness. Tough. The Vikings fans are tough. They want the rookie QB. Here's a Vikings fan said. It sums it up perfectly. Here's what he said on the show. Again, we just want a QB we drafted. Sink or swim with him. We're used to losing. So they just want to go with JJ anyway. It's okay. Another one here, though. Don't get why everyone's so enamored with McCarthy. Yes, he showed promise in preseason. The plan was to let him sit behind Darnold and get some reps, and if Darnold didn't pan out, move on. That didn't happen. And one more. Letting Darnold walk for nothing in return is a fireable offense. It's a fireable offense. We'll see where that goes. Let's go to hoops. Summit League. Starting up, SDSU women, the big favorite with Coach Aaron Johnston. Let's break down the season. They've won 63 straight in the Summit League. SDSU head women's basketball coach. AJ's up next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Plug into powerful savings with CeroWire products at Menards. CeroWire is an American-owned leading manufacturer of building wire for residential, commercial, and industrial applications. Menards stocks convenient, pre-cut lengths of wire and cable products for all of your indoor and outdoor projects. Hurry in now and save big money on CeroWire at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Home really is the place to be. Landscapes by Forever Lawn can give your home the lush, natural grass appearance you expect without the work. Our premium materials and construction create a low-maintenance experience of transformational beauty and exceptional wear performance, allowing you time to enjoy your family and friends. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you make one of the best upgrades you can add to your home sweet home. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank & Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank & Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank & Trust. Member FDIC.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Find your fortune and fall for big wins during the Love and Luck promotion at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. to midnight for prize drawings that grow bigger each hour. Then, don't miss the grand prize event on Saturday, March 29th, where 10 lucky winners will take home prizes ranging from $500 to $5,000. Let Love and Luck bring you big wins and even bigger thrills. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Playoff coverage of high school girls basketball takes place Friday on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Rapid City Stevens Raiders hope to make their 12th straight state tournament appearance as they host the Huron Tigers in a Sodak 16 game Friday at Carroll Tire Gym. Join Dean Gurr and me, Jerome Wickersham, for the pregame show at 5:45, followed by the tip-off at 6. Catch the Raiders and the Tigers in a Sodak 16 AA showdown Friday right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome back in across South Dakota. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Every afternoon drive, the Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Remember, you can stream us right now on X at Nate Brown Show. Find us on X, on the app, and watch the show live every afternoon drive at Nate Brown Show. South Dakota State women's basketball back, trying to win another Summit League title, get back to the NCAA tournament, 26-3. How about that? 16-0 again in Summit League. That's 3 straight seasons, 16-0. Their head coach, Aaron Johnston, on the Nate Brown Show, courtesy of the Pizza Ranch Hotline. Coach, good to have you on. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, I appreciate your time. Wanted to talk about your program and just the unbelievable accomplishments. You just had senior night, and you've been in this a long time now, have had a lot of great teams. I want to ask you, what's special about this one? You put this thing together again. What jumps out to you?
Well, you're right. This is 25 or the 25th senior day that we've had. So there have been a lot of really good players over the years that have come through our program. And every team, to your point, is special, and they're a little bit built a little bit different and different personalities, different strengths. I think the thing about this team, they are on an unbelievable run. The fact that they haven't lost a conference game in the last 3 years is remarkable. Like, no team that we've had has been able to achieve that. They've had such a level of focus, such a level of consistency that is just really, really hard to duplicate. And I think the quality that keeps them there is they're just really steady. Like, this team isn't looking for the spotlight. They're not looking for the attention. If something doesn't go well, they don't get too down. It's just such a boring description. I wish I had a better word, but they're just so steady. Every single day they show up to practice, they compete, they work hard, they do that in the classroom. I think last year our GPA was like 3.7 as a team. Everything about them is just really steady. They work really hard, and it shows when you look at the success they've had on the court.
So here's the thing. Some people, I think, may overlook that. I mean, that's a big stat, 16-0 in the Summit League, 3 straight years. And people say, well, SDSU women's basketball is just way better than everybody. But usually in a basketball game, you go into, a Thursday, a Friday on the road, and you maybe just don't show up. And how hard is it to win that many games, especially when people are trying to beat them?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's exactly right. I think you just have off nights. None of us are at our best every single day, and we've battled through that. Think of all the injuries we've had, all the sicknesses, people that have missed games. It's been too many, to be honest with you, and we've still found a way to play through that and weather those bumps in the road. I think the other piece is, and you kind of highlighted it, at this point we're getting a lot of best games from our opponents. People, they just get tired of it, just like I would. If I were one of our opponents, I'd be like, you know what, this is the night they're going down. And so you get, I think, a really big challenge. We've seen so many different defenses this year. People are trying different ways to slow down Brooklyn Meyer inside or Paige Meyer out on the perimeter, and we've had to adjust in a lot of games. And so, yeah, human nature would be there's going to be some letdowns. There's going to be some games that don't go well. You're going to get in foul trouble. You're going to have other things come up. And I would just say all of those things have come up, but our team just continues to stay steady. They keep plugging away. And they're incredibly talented. I shouldn't undersell that. Yes, we're consistent, we're solid, we're steady, but there is an unbelievable amount of talent in our locker room. You know, we've got 15 people on the roster. Right now we're playing 8, 9, 10 in a rotation, but literally all 15 could be in a significant rotation for us this year, and we would be really good. So you have to have talent, and we've got a bunch of that, but then that talent comes together to bring out the best of each other in a really consistent way, and that's what's made this streak possible, and that's what's taken us into the conference tournament with a lot of good momentum.
Coach AJ on tonight, SDSU head women's basketball coach, number 1 seed Summit League tournament. They're awaiting the winner of Omaha and Denver coming up. The Jacks women will play on Thursday at the Denny. So I want to talk about your coaching consistency. College sports are different now. There's transferring. There's more of it. You still have kept this together. How has the transfer portal impacted you at all? How have you kept the culture pretty consistent here?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think over time you do have ups and downs, and we've been able to recruit, I think, people who are really invested in our program. They love Brookings. They love SDSU. They have ties in our region. They're not all from down the road, but we have got players from the Twin Cities, or we've got someone from Wisconsin. So they're driving to get here, but they're really invested in the things that we believe in at SDSU, and that's we believe in having a great locker room. We want people who are going to care about each other. We want basketball to be important in their life, but we don't want basketball to define who they are as people. We want their experience here to be much bigger and broader than just wins and losses. We want people who are going to be really driven. We want people who are going to communicate well in our program and in our community. And we're really upfront about all this in recruiting. And so I think people that end up wanting to come here are really invested in what we're trying to get done. They're invested in the program. They're not coming here for the transaction of just wanting to play and wanting to have a role, and if that doesn't go well, they're willing to move on and go find a different place to play. And there are a lot, I think, programs out there that are very transactional, and I don't even think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's where college sports are. I mean, young people should be able to pursue whatever they want. But we're really specific, I think, in that early recruiting process. And there's probably some sophomores and juniors in high school that hear our, recruiting plan, and maybe they don't want it. They're not looking for that. And so I think we get people to say no early in the process before they become jackrabbits, and that's why the transfer portal hasn't hit us in the same way. Now, we're not immune from it. It certainly could come up. I'm not saying we have a perfect plan, but so far we've been able to keep the roster intact and not have to build our program through the transfer portal. Because once you start losing players, the only way to keep it going is go out and find other juniors and seniors with that experience, and then you're almost in that cycle. So we're trying to continue this plan and keep it the way it's going, and if we can, it'll keep us in a good position.
So you, for the most part, Coach, you think you can still win bringing in high schoolers, developing players?
As long as they stay, that's the big key. If you're bringing in a freshman and a sophomore and they're leaving after that sophomore year and you put 2 years into them and now you're planning on them having an impact as a junior or senior, then it's going to be hard when they leave after that. So as long as they see kind of a long-term vision, again, which we lay out in the process, I think you can absolutely do it. Now, we've had some really good transfers. Drew Gilton, obviously a couple years ago, transferred from Utah. We've had Tegan Larson transfer here from Iowa. Riley Cascio-Jensen came here from Nebraska. Those players are all people we kind of knew in the recruiting process. We kind of had a relationship before they made their initial decision. So there'll always be a room for adding some transfers that really make sense and have a connection to SDSU. But it's not necessarily our plan. We're not going to try and build a program every year with that in mind.
A couple more for Aaron Johnston, head coach, South Dakota State women's basketball. What a season, 16-0 in the Summit League. That's 3 straight seasons, Summit League history. Nobody's ever done that. They're the number 1 seed, getting set for a Thursday game at the Denny. Rapid City guard Haley Timmer, got to ask you about her second leading scorer. I covered it in high school, and she just did a lot of things well. Maybe it's not going to get you 30, 25 points a game, but she'll get you points. She'll get you assists. She'll get you rebounds for not a very big kid. High-efficiency shooter. Talk about her development here as a college player.
She's been fantastic for us, and I agree with everything you said. She is tough, plays so hard every possession, so competitive, offensively, defensively, running the floor, taking charges, going after rebounds, making threes, getting the basket. She has just got a motor that doesn't stop, and I think we all appreciate her drive and work ethic. Had to overcome the injury last year, but she hit the ground running right away this year. That's hard to do, to come back from a season-ending injury and be in the kind of shape she was in and be as ready as she was. Really says a lot about her work ethic. And I just think Brooklyn Meyer, Paige Meyer have gotten so much attention. I just think Haley is not in our program, not from me, but I think sometimes on the outside, just completely undervalued. I think she's one of the very best players in our conference. She plays a really important role for us, and it's so much fun watching her compete every single day. She's done great in school and really driven personality. Teammates love playing with her, and she's been a lot of fun to coach.
I'll tell you, look across the Summit League, Coach. You've ran the table. You're the number 1 seed. How do you go into this tournament with teams still trying to knock you off? What's the mindset that you tell this team?
Yeah, we've been in that position a lot. And there's been times where we've come in as a 2, 3, 4, whatever the other numbers are. But most of the time we've come in a position where people are trying to knock you off and take you out of that spot. And I think we just stay really locked into what makes us a good team. We've had 2 months of conference basketball games where we know what makes us good. We know what defines us. And we also know that when we don't play well, these are the things that have caused us problems. So it's really just focusing on all of that experience here in the last 60 days and saying, okay, when we're at our best, this is what we get done. And let's make sure we put all of our focus into doing those things at a really high level and not think about we're trying to hold on to a number 1 seed or we're trying to live up to this expectation that we or others have. Certainly we want to compete for a championship, and we're open about that. But the focus here for the next handful of days is what is it that it takes to be a great team? How do we put our focus and attention on those things? And that goes back to that consistency we talked about at the beginning of our conversation. That's why this team has done so well over the years, is their ability to stay really focused on what's important and what helps them be successful.
I got to tell you have a former player as coach, and Peyton Burkhardt coaching at Aberdeen. Did she get some advice from you? I mean, are you helping her out?
I had a chance to watch her coach just the other day, and it is so much fun watching her. She's just doing really great work there. It's hard to be a head coach these days, and for her to jump into that spot and having the kind of success that they had in year 1 is really impressive. It's been fun to watch her, stay in touch with her. We've crossed paths several times this year. I know she's having a lot of fun with it and enjoying it, and hope she's at Aberdeen for a long time. She'll do a great job with her team. Yeah,
that's good stuff. Coach Aaron Johnston, head coach, South Dakota State women's basketball, number 1 seed, trying to win another Summit title and go to the NCAA tourney. Coach, we'll talk to you again. Thanks for the time tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. AJ on tonight from South Dakota State, head women's basketball coach. What a job for Aaron Johnston. 26-3, and their non-conference schedule was tough. I mean, they played some tough teams. 16-0 for the Jackrabbit women's program. That's 3 straight years in the Summit League. 16-0. They ran the table back to back to back. That's never been done. 63 straight wins in Summit League regular season play. I mean, this is basketball where you just are off, you don't have a good game, this and that. What a deal. What a deal. SDSU women, number 1 seed. They'll play on Thursday as the Summit League tournament gets going at the Denny. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, let's take a look at the next question of the day. Sam Darnold, is he getting any more love from you guys? Is he going to get any love at all? We'll discuss on the way.
This is South Dakota's Sports.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number 1. So you can always be their number 1. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number 1 hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for snow showers tonight, otherwise mainly clear. Lows dip down to about 16. Winds out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Daytime highs approaching 46. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow night, lows around 26. 1 to 3 inches of snow Thursday through Thursday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 29.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live Tuesday edition of the program. If you miss any parts of the show, we're talking Vikings to get it going. Sam Darnold doesn't get franchise tagged today, so you Vikings fans are wondering, we're going to bring him back? We're not going to pay him $41 million, but are we going to bring him back? Are we going to give him a contract, an extension? Talked to Matthew Collar tonight. Coach AJ was just on from Brookings, his South Dakota State women's program. Unbelievable. It's just been so good for a long time. They're dominant. Number 1 seed for the Summit League tournament. Coach AJ was on. If you missed parts of the show, download the Nate Brown Show podcast. It's always available. We don't repeat guests or record segments and play them back like some of the shows. We want new stuff each time out. So go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. It's there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Search the Nate Brown Show. And then you've got this show from high school to college to the pros. All the content you want there on the Nate Brown Show podcast. Coming up, Craig Maddock in the second hour. Hang tight. SDPB Sports, longtime Sioux Falls broadcaster Craig Maddock's in. David Crumb's on tonight from South Dakota Mines. The Hard Rockers announced last night they're going to change coaches for women's basketball and men's basketball at the same time. David Crum, the AD, new AD at South Dakota Mines. He'll be coming up talking about the future of those programs. I got to get the update on the question of the day. If you're a Vikings fan, will you please let me know if the Vikings bring back Sam Darnold, do a new contract for him here, what type of money would you be willing to give him? Not the $40 million plus, right? The $40 million, that would be a pretty big price tag. There are 5% of you that have voted that say, yes, you just have to pay these QBs $40 million. 29% of you say you would cut a deal $25 to $30 million a year. You'd be okay. So that's about 30% of Vikings fans. 66% of you voting, don't bring Sam Darnold back. Let him walk. Oh, I never thought I'd see anything like it. Those two games were that upsetting to you at the end of the year? Listener text coming in. Remember, the Vikings O-line got wrecked by the Rams defense, and Sam Darnold did as well as anyone could. Good point. Good point. I mean, we act like the Rams were a bunch of slouches. You understand they were like one short red zone play away from beating the Eagles in Philly? You might remember that. Okay, that's how that game went. So everybody act like the Rams were slouches. They turned it on at the end of the year. Listener text 605-720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. You can join the conversation. Listener text, starting a rookie QB that missed all last year with an injury is a big mistake. Let's bring him back with a Baker Mayfield type contract. Yeah, that's kind of where the Buccaneers were at. A little over $30 million a year for Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold, younger, more athletic, 14 wins. I didn't remember Baker doing that. So I'm surprised the Vikings fans so down on Sam Darnold. 66% voting in our Twitter poll. Let him walk. J.J. McCarthy's turn. Unbelievable. You tell me, would you pay Sam Darnold about $30 million a year? A little bit of a deal, a little bit of a discount, no franchise tag. So would you just kind of try and do a contract, see if you can get a little better deal? I don't know if the market's huge for Sam Darnold right now. I don't know that. So if I'm the Vikes, honestly, I'm playing that out. What's the market like for you? Let's see if we can work on a deal here. You got a good situation, great weapons. Maybe we can improve our O-line. Let's see if we can do a deal. That's what I would do. But Vikings fans just just on to the next chapter. And I do believe it's because these rookie QBs that have some success, like my Bo Nix story, everybody thinks, oh, that's just a great story. That's a great, we got McCarthy. He's going to be better than Bo Nix even. I don't know if Bo Nix is going to be good next year or not. Oh, boy, don't start that now. Let's not start that. Okay, I'll take a step back. Don't worry. Hey, it's basketball postseason time, right? Basketball postseason time in South Dakota. So what do we want to discuss tonight? We've never done this. Top 5 most passionate fans in South Dakota high school basketball. Which towns, communities are the most passionate for South Dakota high school basketball? That's my second question of the day. I've got my top 5 right here, and maybe I'll throw in some honorable mentions. So I've covered high school basketball over the years. I've been to some small gyms, broadcasting in the stands. Some people cussing on the broadcast. It was really fun. They get wound up. Top 5 towns with the most passionate fans for South Dakota high school basketball. Do you have any votes? Does a town come to your mind right now? I've got my top 5. What's yours? 605-720-1067. We're back with that.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
The South Dakota Lottery is all about good fun, but too much fun is not good fun, like too much ice cream. Brain freeze is not fun, or roller coasters. Good fun! Or lottery games. Too much fun is not good fun. That's why the South Dakota Lottery reminds you to always play only for fun. And if you can't, help is available and always confidential. Because too much fun is not good fun. Play responsibly. Keep the fun good. Learn more at keepthefungood.com.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer from Denny Menholt Toyota. Use your phone. It's fast and easy. Pull up our website, click on Value Trade-In, scan your VIN, and tell us about your car. You are on your way to a no-hassle, no-commitment cash offer on your vehicle in under 5 minutes. Bring your vehicle and your Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer to Denny Menholt Toyota and get cash or trade-in credit today. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Win a brand new car when you play at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort this month. We've got a 2024 Chevy Trax from Queen City Motors, and it's ready to go to the lucky winner of our Easy Street Grand Prize drawing. Getting entered to win is so easy. We'll give you one free entry every day you come in and play with your clubhouse card. Then get an additional entry for every 100 points you earn. The drawing will be held March 29th, so get in today and start earning entries to win a brand new Chevy Trax. It's all happening at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort, located on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
Chatting here with Ryan from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. All I know is where we live, boy, it's powered on vehicles.
That it is. We're here to take care of all your automotive needs.
I know you're an ASE and AAA approved repair facility. Well, what's that all mean?
It means we passed all the national requirements to be an authorized AAA automotive repair facility. Plus, our mechanics have passed thorough testing in all of the disciplines of auto repair to achieve their ASE certification.
Impressive.
So from oil changes to brakes and batteries, cooling, heating, or shocks and suspension, we're your answer.
A one-stop shop.
Absolutely. Plus, we carry over 50 brand name tires with deals as good as anywhere, and flat out the best brake deal around at just $399 per axle with new pads, rotors, labor, and a lifetime warranty for most vehicles.
That's an incredible brake deal.
You know, it really is.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialist. See anytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome back in, second hour, ready to roll, Tuesday edition. It's always a great day in South Dakota, you know that. We're back, the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio, from high school to college to the pros, thought-provoking sports talk, right? Thought-provoking sports talk, not Hot Take Central. We're trying to get you involved here in our thought-provoking show with some questions of the day and some interesting stuff. We've never done this. Best high school basketball towns in South Dakota. Best high school basketball towns. We've kind of went through various cities and saying, well, is Sioux Falls, is that a football town? That's a football town. Rapid City, is that a baseball town? Oh, we've done that. We haven't done like top 5 best fans of South Dakota high school basketball. And I've got my top 5. Let's get ready to go. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is on tonight. Second hour features Craig Maddock. So hang on. SDPB Sports, longtime broadcaster Craig Maddock, our next guest. And David Crum joins us later this hour. Hang on. We'll hear from the South Dakota Mines athletic director. He's making changes with the basketball programs. Women's coach and men's coach let go. They're moving on, trying to find new coaches for both programs at D2 SD Mines. So their AD new there at South Dakota Mines. David Crum, he's coming up later this hour. So let's do this. You tell me your best towns for South Dakota high school basketball. This is a good one. Now, I'm not a super old timer, but I'm an old timer enough to remember some of the great atmospheres. And I still think there are some great atmospheres out there, but I remember some of the great atmospheres with some state championship level teams, small towns, the gyms, people are hanging from the rafters. I'm sitting right next to people as I'm broadcasting games in the stands. This is what it's all about. So I was doing this exercise today. I'm like, what are the best towns with the most passionate fans for South Dakota high school basketball? It's that time of year, March Madness. What town in South Dakota has the best, most passionate fans for South Dakota high school basketball? And I'm interested in your take. 605-720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line, all right? Interested in what you would put on your list. I'm going to put 5 places on my list, okay? I'm going to put 5 places on my list, and as a matter of fact, let's get this going. All right, here we go. You tell me if I'm missing anybody, all right? I'm going to start at number 5. Town with the most passionate fans, South Dakota high school basketball. Number 5, I'm going to go with Aberdeen. The State Bees are one thing, okay? I have not been to the State Bees, so don't kill me. Don't kill me. I want to experience the State Bees. I came from a small-town high school basketball. That's where I played, so I get the whole picture. From Montana, okay? And there's nothing better than small-town basketball. So the State Bees really, really supported. I would say Aberdeen is a basketball town just from Northern's unbelievable history there, too. So basketball-wise, and I know Aberdeen Central hasn't been, top tier, but that's a basketball town right there from State Bees to high school to Northern State. Aberdeen has some passionate basketball fans. They have some of the best basketball fans, I would say, in the state. So that's number 5. Number 4. I got to go with this because it's a Class B school. They've had a dominant run. The program is excellent, and the support is outstanding. This is a great program with a lot of support. White River. I'm going to go Class B, White River. Now, this is as of late, so I'm going to start with the Louis Krogman days. So this is when that party got started. And since the Louis Krogman days, White River basketball. When you think Class B basketball, White River has to be near the top. Near the top. Great basketball town and school community. White River basketball fans, really, really good. So I'm going to put them, Class B, I'm going to put them at number 4. Number 3. This is one you may say, oh, no, I haven't been there. These guys haven't been in the mix for a long time. But I remember it was packed. They've got state champion banners. They have the all-time winningest coach. If you want to talk about when Custer was in their heyday, Custer basketball was unreal. You pack people into the Custer Armory, it was off the charts. When you talk high school intensity, I mean, that was off the charts with Larry Luchins and that program. So, number 3, town with the most passionate basketball fans. And I know Custer, it's not in the Larry Luchins days. They're not bad this year, by the way. Keep an eye on that. Not bad. But Custer, legendary program, the state titles, that run, you'll never forget it. If you followed it, you know what I'm talking about. Custer, number 3 basketball town in South Dakota. Number 2, this is the place where they love basketball. So many great stories from girls basketball to boys basketball. So many great stories. This is a basketball place, Pine Ridge. So I'm going to tell you, you can't get any more passion for hoops and some of the great players. Look at Marvin Richard III right now. Is he the best player? Is he the guy? Look at this guy. Might be a USD player. We'll see where he goes. They've had such history. Siouxland, Big Crow, and the list goes on. Pine Ridge, number 2 on my list. Most passionate fans for South Dakota high school basketball. And number 1, I can't leave them off. I'll go with the Mitchell Colonel fans. I will give you some credit, Mitchell. Mitchell's just, I don't know what to tell you. I know it's the Corn Palace, but the history there, Gary Munson, that goes, he's right there with Larry Luchins and the runs that Mitchell had. Mitchell, that community, that's basketball, end of story. And I know they do other sports, football, and you wouldn't hardly know it. That's a basketball school. Like, if there's a basketball school in this state, it's Mitchell. And I know they had their downturn after Munson. They did have a downturn. Now they're back. Mitchell, number 1, most passionate fans for South Dakota high school basketball. That's my list, okay? That's my list. Let's see here. What are you guys voting for? Let's take a look. I got to pick this up here. How about Mobridge? Okay. I didn't follow Mobridge closely. Here's one. Spearfish had some great runs with Matt Martin. Yes, very good. I covered those back in the day. Miller getting a vote. I remember the Miller days. Didn't they have a heck of a team back in the day? I mean, unbelievable team out of Miller back in the day. Another one, Aberdeen. Listener text, it's Mitchell. Ethan. Okay, Ethan making the list. What do you say? What did I miss? I go Aberdeen, White River, Custer, Pine Ridge, Mitchell, my top 5 towns with the most passionate fans for South Dakota High School basketball. I don't think I'm missing anybody. We didn't do Sioux Falls, Rapid City, the big city. It's not quite the same. Not quite the same as those communities I pointed out. You tell me, 605-720-1067. Fill me in. Top 5 towns, love hoops in those places. Coming right back, Craig Maddock. He might have a little history here. Longtime South Dakota broadcaster, SDPB Sports. Craig, my next guest.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
We're bringing Music City to you. Get ready for Nashville Night on March 22nd at the Box Elder Event Center. The concert kicks off at 7 p.m. with the talented Jessica Luby, followed by the high-energy Velvet Rodeo. Put on your boots and get ready to dance. Plus, test your skills on the mechanical bull.
Hold on tight, honey. You got it.
And enjoy Nashville hot chicken
Hey, thanks for being here and making this show possible. Weekday afternoons, the Nate Brown Show live, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Fox Sports Radio streaming there on X right now, at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show if you're on X. You have an account there, follow the show and watch us live at Nate Brown Show. Answer our questions of the day. Have a little fun. It's the only thing that's fun, answering our questions of the day every day. It's amazing. Craig Maddox on SDPB Sports. Busy time of year for Craig. Just did state wrestling. Did a nice job. Boy, nice crowd of the Monument in Rapid City. Craig Maddox on tonight. Craig, good to have you back. How are you?
Hey, thanks for hosting last week. It went great. I thought Rapid City did another fantastic job of hosting it. I think wrestling is in Sioux Falls next year, but they'll be back in Rapid in 2 years.
Yeah, I've said now, if there's a discussion point, if Sioux Falls gets state track every year at Howard Wood, what should Rapid City look at doing state wrestling every year? And I know there's some people say, you can keep it rotating. Rapid City wrestling, West River wrestling's a real culture, a real passionate thing. I think it's something maybe to think about. Hotel rooms and all that stuff in February, not a problem, because state track's going to be in Sioux Falls because we've ran into hotel problems out here and venue and the whole thing. What would you say to that? State wrestling, you come out every year, Craig. Come on out.
I'm okay with that. I really am. I think it's a good sharing thing. Let Sioux Falls have track and field, and I think you and I both agree that Sioux Falls, the facility for state track, is the place we should be, unless space becomes more optimal for Rapid City. But you know how that goes. So state track is best in Sioux Falls, but I have no problem with wrestling at the Monument. It was great. I mean, everybody had plenty of room. I mean, the place was packed, a lot of excitement, and it was fun. So thanks for hosting.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Followed the coverage on SDPB Sports. So Sturgis, one more on the wrestling. Sturgis wins the boys' title. That's back-to-back state titles now. That's 8 overall for Sturgis. What do you point to? Sturgis wrestling, not the biggest school, not the fancy facilities, not all this. What do you point to that Sturgis can win this and dominate the last 2 years?
Well, remember, it had been 14 years since Sturgis won a state wrestling title when they did that last year. And Mike Abel has done a great job. I mean, Steve Kessler was the guy that built the program. He's still a part of it.
Yeah.
But, Mike Abel, I think, has done a fantastic job. He has talked about he's trying to help kids, more than just wrestling when it comes to Sturgis. I think he's done a great job. And West River's got to worry about Sturgis some more because they have a lot of talent still on that roster.
How much does the tradition of a program, whether it's Sturgis wrestling, like you said, there was a gap there. They dominated for a while, and then there was a gap. But how much does tradition play into winning, whether it's Sioux Falls football, Sturgis wrestling? How much does tradition play in?
I think you have to look at it. I mean, Canton won their 8th straight wrestling title. Pierre won their, 3rd or 4th straight girls wrestling title. You look at other sports, whether you want to look at cheer and dance, Sioux Valley has, 15 or 17 in a row. So the culture does play a part in particular sports. The competitive sports, though, it is a year-to-year thing you got to keep working on. And the Sturgises and the Cantons and the Piers, when it comes to wrestling, those kids, they want to keep winning. They don't want to be known as the seniors or the juniors that let everybody else down maybe for a state championship.
Yeah. No, I think it's a factor, and as you point to coaching, though, Mike Abel's done a great job in Sturgis in investing in the youth program as well. It's a passionate Sturgis wrestling community. Craig Maddox on tonight, the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Hey, I want to ask you this question here, Craig. My question of the day. I just went through my top 5 towns/communities with the most passionate fans for South Dakota high school basketball. You've been in this game a long time. I don't need 5, but I threw out 5. What comes to the top of your mind? Most passionate fans, best communities for South Dakota high school basketball.
Well, I know at one point you had to have the Lennox and the Custers in there.
Custer was in here. I put Custer in. Yep.
I put Mitchell in there.
Yeah, that was
we're talking boys basketball or just basketball overall?
Well, I kind of focused on boys. I covered a lot back in the day. I put Mitchell number 1. I put Mitchell as number 1.
Okay. Yeah, they're back on a roll, and an amazing stat I heard the other day is that Mitchell has beaten Sioux Falls schools 13 times in a row now.
Wow! Wow!
I couldn't believe that. That was an amazing thing. Otherwise, basketball, Aberdeen has always been hot with basketball, and that coincides with Northern.
I put Aberdeen in there, great basketball town. I went Class B, I went White River since the Louis Krogman days.
Yep, I was just going to mention the White River, and I was going to throw Sully Buttes maybe in there as well. They love their basketball, and Mark Sefner had a great program going there when he was there. So, picking a top 5 that's tough.
By the way, my second one was Pine Ridge. What a history and passion with great players and coaches over the years. And I missed one. We just got to vote on this. DeSmet. They said they've been great since the 70s.
I suppose, put the Bulldogs in it. We do top 10 instead of top 5.
So
it would be easier.
That's not a bad one, DeSmet. I got to vote for Yankton. Would you say Yankton a basketball town?
Maybe when Michael Moores was there.
Yeah.
It's fallen off a little bit.
All right, I think
when it came to girls basketball, though, Sioux Falls Roosevelt, when they were running that 111-game win streak and 5 state titles, they were outdrawing the boys all the time when it came to their games.
Yeah, no, I got that. Okay, I want to get your read on the situation here with Sam Darnold. You are a Vikings season ticket holder. I've asked Vikings fans, why do you hate Sam Darnold so much? You guys are so nice to everybody. Why do you hate Sam? No franchise tag. They're trying to work on a deal, I guess. And I got 66% of my audience said, let him walk. Get him out of here. 66%. What do you say?
Well, reading all the material that's been going on, apparently it is really hard to sign a contract and then trade. It is tough to do. Negotiations are tough. Every team is different. It kind of looks like, and I guess I wouldn't have I think the Vikings are set with McCarthy as their starter coming up this fall, and using who's that kid from New York they got?
Yeah, Daniel Jones.
That loser they got from New York. What was his name? Daniel Jones. I think he'll be the backup.
Well, I'll tell you, how would you feel when Sam Darnold's going to be your quarterback and they lose a game and then he goes 3-and-out in the U.S. Bank home opener? Are you going to be yelling for JJ? You're going to be yelling for him?
Vikings fans will be livid after McCarthy throws his first incomplete pass. They'll be already yelling for Sam Darnold.
Oh, okay. Flip it around. Okay, I got you. By the way, let me get your read on the Summit League. So this has been a great event. Do you think it's a big home advantage for South Dakota State?
Yes, it's big because all their fans will show up. If the Jacks were playing in Omaha or maybe in, just name any other out-of-state location, would they all travel? It is much easier going to the Denny. It is a huge plus for the Jacks, for men and women, for the Summit League.
Yeah.
Huge.
So you say it's big. Do you think Sioux Falls will ever lose the Summit League tournament?
When you look at attendance when it was down at Oral Roberts, it was down south. What was it? Was Oral Roberts, right? Yeah, it was down at Oral Roberts before it came to Sioux Falls, and attendance wasn't really that good. Then they moved it to Sioux Falls, and they sell out the place every year. I mean, thousands and thousands. They were breaking records with attendance there. Why would you change that if you know you've got some big-time attendance? Now, where would you go? I mean, who's going to try to bid for it? Would Fargo try? Would Fargo try to get it? I don't know. I don't know what the availability would be, but right now it seems Sioux Falls is the place to be for the Summit League.
Summit League tourney, Jackrabbit women. We had Coach AJ on tonight, number 1 seed. What do you think of the job he's done there? 63 straight wins in the Summit League regular season for that team.
Yeah, that's Hall of Fame material there, no doubt. What he has done, I mean, we all remember when he went to Green Bay, he was going to go to Green Bay and took the job, and then 2 hours later said, nope, I'm going back to Brookings. What he has done has been phenomenal. Not a lot of coaches have done what AJ's done.
Yeah. Big season this year, 16-0 in the Summit League again, 3 straight years, 26-3 are the Jackrabbit women. They're the number 1 seed. And then the Jackrabbit men, look out. They think they can make a little run as well in the middle of the road there in the Summit League, starting up at the Denny tomorrow with some of the play-in games. All right, Craig Maddock on tonight. Do you have a new in-play?
We will have one next week. I can't announce it yet.
Oh.
But during the week of the boys' state AA basketball tournament, one of the great all-time coaches, and I'll just mention who it is. We're going to talk to Gail Hoover of Parker, and I bring it up because I interviewed Gail right at the last week of January, and just a couple of weeks ago, his wife, Clark, passed away. She'd been in the hospital for a while, and they'd been married, some 60 years, 60-plus years, and Gail talked about his wife, Clark, and what kind of a commitment she had to make being a coach's wife. But at one time, Gail Hoover was the all-time winningest basketball coach. So the Gail Hoover podcast coming up during the state boys basketball tournament at sdpb.org.
All right, Craig Maddock, the podcast is in play. Download it where you get your podcasts as well. Craig, always great. Enjoy the tournament coverage coming up. I appreciate it.
I hope to see you. I'll be in your backyard next week.
All right, coming up on the girls' championship. Yeah, we'll look forward to it. Craig Maddock on tonight from SDPB Sports, live from Sioux Falls. Find him on Twitter at Craig Maddock. I can't really pin Craig down. Does he want Sam? Does he want J.J. McCarthy? What do you Vikings fans want? Summit League Tournament, Sioux Falls getting ready to go. It's a great event. Just got a listener text from out west. Rapid City should bid for the Summit League Tournament. Oh. Look out. We'll stick with state wrestling first. We'll start. 605-720-1067 is the Barons-Wilson text line. What are the most passionate towns for South Dakota high school basketball in South Dakota? I gave my top 5. Do you have a vote? We just got a DeSmet vote in there. So I thought that was interesting. You said great basketball since 1969. That's pretty specific. Since 1969. My number 1 is Mitchell. I went with Mitchell. What town comes to your mind? Most passionate fans watching South Dakota high school basketball. You tell me. Speaking of basketball, we'll go to the college level next. South Dakota Mines out of the RMAC. New leadership. They're going to find new coaches for women's basketball and men's basketball at the same time. The guy who's on the search is the new athletic director at South Dakota Mines, David Crum, and he joins me live next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number 1. so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Honda True, and you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
Do you have a
Listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. Thanks for being here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live every afternoon drive. Great guests tonight from high school to college to the pros. Appreciate everybody stopping in. If you missed some of the show, a reminder, the Nate Brown Show podcast available. You can download it anytime, listen at your own convenience. Search The Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcasts. So you've got this show every day posted right there. We've talked Vikings, we've talked high school, we've talked South Dakota State women starting the Summit League tournament. Now let's go D2 and South Dakota Mines. The athletic director for the Hard Rockers, David Crum, and he joins us on the Nate Brown Show. David, thanks for hopping on. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Nate, for having me on tonight.
Well, I appreciate your time. I get the news release yesterday, and I thought, well, this is big news, and you guys are going to try to get some new leadership in women's basketball and men's basketball. You've been the AD now there, surveying the scene. So this release came out. How hard of a decision was it for you trying to look for 2 new coaches now?
It's a very hard decision. In college athletics, making coaching changes and going through transitions like this is never easy. It's one of the more undesirable things you want to do. But as an athletic director, you holistically need to look at what's best for the university, the department, as well as each of the programs, and especially our student athletes. So it was a tough day yesterday. Those are good people. But unfortunately, we're going to move in a different direction.
Okay, so as you look at the scene, college coaching, and at SD Mines, you've been there now, David, and you look at the scene. I know the situation. It's not an easy place to get this player, that player too. There's some standards here. There's some things you really have to look at. How challenging is that? Do you discuss that with coaching candidates that you're going to bring in?
Well, absolutely, we'll discuss that. But the reality is we do have a little smaller recruiting pool than most of the other RMAC schools, except for Colorado School of Mines. We're recruiting special young men and women. These young people are academically very gifted and athletically they're very gifted. So right there reduces our recruiting pool. So we're going to need to get somebody that can coach both of these programs that is a good fit and understand the academic standards that we have, and it's doable. We can win with the standards that we have and getting the right kids here.
South Dakota Mines AD David Crum on tonight talking about the change in leadership, women's basketball and men's basketball, looking for two new head coaches at the same time. Why did you want to press reset there? What are you looking for there?
You know, you kind of holistically look at the whole thing and kind of look at the trend lines in terms of where the feel of the program is going, where the winning percentages, from the all-time overall record to last 4 years to last 2 years, and look at trend lines. You're looking at the kind of the energy in the gymnasium, the number of people in the gymnasium, and it's a balance that we have to do. It's Division II is a balance between academics and athletics, and all of our student athletes are doing very well academically, and we think that with a leadership change and a little more energy from a number of different fronts, that we can also win in both men's and women's basketball.
Okay, I ask you about the academic side because people know South Dakota Mines is a great school. Colorado Mines, very similar. They've had success, basketball, football. How do you model that piece? How do you take down or compete with them?
You win with people. You win with the people of your student athletes, and you win with the people of who are leading your programs, from their head coaches to assistant coaches to the athletic director to everybody within the athletic administration, and also within the university administration. We've got new leadership, president of South Dakota Mines, and he's been wonderful to work with. And it's all those things that line up that has to make you successful. And quite honestly, we're going to think big. We got to work hard, and we got to settle for nothing less than excellence. And the reality is, it's going to be hard, but we can do it.
What do you think of the RMAC basketball-wise, women's and men's, meaning competitive-wise? You've seen this now for a season. How do you rank it?
It's hard for me. I spent the vast majority of my career in Division I, so I can't compare it to other Division II schools. But I do know that what I've seen on both men's and women's is they're quality teams on both sides of that equation. And there's great basketball being played throughout there from top to bottom.
I want to ask you about this new age of college sports. Do you have any sense for players that are thinking about transferring? And I've seen some D2 schools lose players to higher end. Maybe it works the other way. Is the transfer portal impacting South Dakota Mines basketball?
Well, I think it impacts all of college basketball, all of college athletics. I think there's transfer portal you hear mostly about it at a Division I level, but it's throughout from Division III to Division I. I was at Colorado State prior, and they got kids out of Division III to Division II and did it very successfully. So I think we are unique in that we have engineers, especially on the high-profile sports. If they leave, they're leaving a great career. If they go into engineering, say in football or basketball, they're going to walk into another locker room with not a single other engineer in that locker room. Here, they're leaving all their future peers, their networking, people that they're going to be working with and connecting with the rest of their lives. So if you look at like a place like South Dakota Mines and Colorado Mines, we're susceptible to the transfer portal, but probably not as much as other schools within the RMAC.
South Dakota Mines Athletic Director's on tonight. David Crum on the Nate Brown Show talking ST Mines basketball. They're going to get a new women's basketball coach and a new men's basketball coach. The search starting right away. So I guess I'm asking, what are you looking for? You talked about energy, trying to win at a high level. What's kind of the principles you're looking for in your coaches? What are you looking for here?
First of all, is the fit. They have to come in and they have to understand what they're walking into in terms of their pool of recruits that they're going to go after. So we're going to look for someone that's a teacher, someone that's academically minded. We need someone that has a high energy, that's going to be able to go out and recruit. We're going to need to have a great recruiter. We need a basketball mind, but the recruiting piece of it is you're going to have to work a little extra harder at South Dakota Mines because the pool is that much more limited than what you're usually going to get at another school. So we just need someone that's a good fit for us, understands it. And we're in Division II, so if you go down or you go up for that, we also understand that we're not sitting here with an unlimited amount of funds, so someone has to understand how they make the most of it. And there's some exemplars. Quite honestly, we look in our building. I'm looking at Charlie Floor and Lauren Prohaska, and we've got two great examples of how to be successful at our university, how to be successful at Division II. So we know some models, and they're right in our own building.
Yeah, the football program you mentioned, the volleyball program you mentioned. So I'm going to ask you, David Crum, on tonight, SD Mines athletic directors. You move forward here. You look at Hard Rocker basketball. You say, what is the goal here? What is it? Is it competing for RMAC titles? I mean, maybe that's the ultimate goal, trying to get into the D2 tournament. What's the goal?
Yeah. You know, there's probably stages of the goal. First of all, my goal is for every student-athlete that comes through men's or women's basketball, if they're here for 4 to 5 years, they're competing in postseason. We can't go 4, 5, 6 years without ever finishing in the top half and the top 8 of the basketball. So we're looking for someone that has that standard. And then basically what we're trying to do is what our ceiling is now. That needs to be our new floor moving forward, and that's the goal that we're going to have. Once we get to that point where we're consistently making the postseason tournament, then we're going to spike up to some championships and stuff like that is the ultimate goal that we're looking at.
David Crum joining us on the Nate Brown Show talking SD Mines. The Hard Rockers will be getting a new head women's basketball coach and head men's basketball coach. That decision made yesterday. David, thanks for shedding some light on it. Best of luck. We'll talk to you again. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Nate. Always great talking with you.
Thanks for your time and insight. Good stuff. David Crum on tonight with an explanation. Looking for new head coaches on women's basketball and men's basketball at the same time at South Dakota Mines, D2, Rapid City, competing in the RMAC. There's been some good programs that I've watched over the years. The RMAC. There's some high-level ballers on the women's side and the men's side. Really, pretty good conference. We've seen Black Hills State make runs to the national championship, right? So that wasn't so long ago on D2 on the men's side. They had some really good runs. So South Dakota Mines trying to get a fresh start in men's basketball and women's basketball. David Crum, the new AD, shedding some light on it on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We come right back with who's hot and who's not. Boy, I've got some good candidates tonight. Let's take a look here. This is interesting to me. The Dallas Mavericks having a tough time. Traded Luka Doncic. Anthony Davis gets hurt. Kyrie Irving gets hurt last night. And the owners have decided to do something else for their fans. Who's hot and who's not next?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
In towns all across South Dakota, it's your banker, the kids' Little League coach, and your brother-in-law who are the firefighters, EMTs, and first responders. So when you drink and drive, the whole town will know it, because they're the first on the scene, and maybe the last faces you see. Do the first responders in your town a favor. Volunteer to be the designated driver. You be the hero, and give them the night off. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for snow showers tonight, otherwise mainly clear. Lows dip down to about 16. Winds out of the north 10 to 15 miles per hour. Daytime highs approaching 46. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow night, lows around 26. 1 to 3 inches of snow Thursday through Thursday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 28 degrees.
Who is it?
You're Prince Charming.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I've been calling to you, Rapunzel. Rapunzel, let down your golden hair for days.
I didn't hear you. The witch got the tower new replacement windows from Renewal by Anderson.
Didn't you wonder where I was?
Not really. My new windows are very energy efficient, keeping my tower very comfortable, and they have greatly reduced the noise levels.
What noise? You live in a forest.
Well, a certain needy prince is constantly yelling my name.
Do you not love me anymore?
Oh, quit being so dramatic.
Dramatic? Moi?
Yes, and Renewal by Anderson exclusively offers gorgeous ensemble security doors, safe and durable.
Do they?
You should get them for the castle along with new Acclaim replacement windows.
If I do, will you marry me?
Let's not rush it. And Prince Charming, get the windows for you, not me.
Oh, wait. Windows? For me?
Does your castle need new windows? Discover Acclaim windows and ensemble entry doors, custom fit and exclusive to Renewal by Anderson. Free consultations. Visit rbarapidcity.com.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Welcome back in. Good stuff tonight on a Tuesday. Thanks for making us part of your day. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show every afternoon drive. Thanks for being here. 2 hours, thought-provoking sports talk. It just flies by when you're having fun. Who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Pizza Ranch at 3809 East 10th Street in Sioux Falls, also in Brandon. Stop by the Pizza Ranch, 2 locations in Rapid City. Home of everyone's favorite buffet, your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. They do a ton for the community. At the Pizza Ranch tonight, the buffet ready to go. In our Who's Hot category tonight, well, I'm going to go with Quinn Ewers, former Texas Longhorns quarterback. What's up with Quinn? Well, he was talking about, he stayed at Texas. He said there was NIL offers that came his way this past year. But he decided to stay at Texas. He said he wanted to be a Texas quarterback. He didn't want to flip and go another way. He didn't want to disrupt anything. He wanted to leave his legacy at Texas. So you're thinking, well, that's quite a commitment. Well, maybe it was. He said it was never a thought for him to leave. Now he's trying to get to the NFL. We'll see where he goes. But what was he talking about? Why did he stay at Texas? He said it was hard to do, but he wanted to be remembered in college at Texas. Quinn Ewers unveiling yesterday, he turned down an $8 million NIL offer to go to another school this past season. $8 million. He didn't make $8 million his whole career at Texas, and somebody was going to give him $8 million, he said, for the year last year. So I'll hand it to Quinn. Way to turn down $8 million, maybe. Was that smart? We'll see where you get drafted. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, I got to go to this Ohio legislator. He has introduced a bill, Ohio, to ban Ohio State from being on a streaming service exclusively. You can't do stuff like that. Ohio State, they might be on Peacock. They're getting paid like $1 billion. Live with it. Sorry. In the words of Matt Kearney, see you tomorrow.
My reason why is community.
My reason why is leadership.
My reason why is to inspire others.